Welcome everyone to another episode of Tutorial Tuesday. It is week 17, 2019. I'm glad that you're along with us. I always have a couple of announcements and then we get right into your questions. And the first announcement is this. I would like to personally thank everyone for their outpouring of support and love, the messages, the texts, through the hard time of putting down your family dog. It was really tough for us because it was unexpected, and letting go of that block of time that she took us through was pretty difficult. But that also brings us to announcement number one, which is we would like to welcome to the pack Caroline. She is a little Italian Spinoni, and she's gonna be running our new pack. So thank you everyone for your support through that tough time. Announcement number two, if you haven't yet gotten in on April's photography challenge, I want you to go ahead and swipe over to my blog, get in on April's photography challenge about finding light and using it while you're out in the field while people are working. I want to see your images, so go ahead, get over there, get in on that challenge. And with that, let's get right into your questions. Okay, the first question comes to us via direct message, and what they're asking is, let's talk about focus. And even when I was out in Kansas last week, what CJ and I were talking about is focus on focus. And I know a lot of folks struggle, and this is one of the biggest challenges out there, is making sure your images are sharp and in focus. And how do we do that? Well, let's talk about the few ways that Canon has to help us, to help aid us in achieving that focus. Now, I just remembered that some time ago I put together a video about floating my focal points, and that's primarily what I do when I'm out in the field. I use a combination of single shot and I use a combination of servo, which is Canon's predictability for moving subjects to focus while they're moving. That's the short explanation of it, but I'm going to go ahead and link you over to that video and take a look at that, and I hope it helps you. Well, thank you for that compliment. I presume you're talking about the pictures of Chris in the truck, and I have to agree with you. Everything just came together, and we had such a fun time on that shoot, so thank you. Look, the simple answer to this question is exactly what I'm doing right now. I'm putting myself out there, and that's something that you have to do every day, is you have to put yourself out there. Email, business cards, social media, whatever it is. Thank you for your compliments. I do appreciate them. What you're seeing on my social media platform, for example, just here on Instagram, is you're seeing 4+ years of consistent work being published and talked about. Now, to me, there's no shortcut. What I've done over the past 4 years just on social media, outside of 10+ years of photography, is just a culmination of being consistent. So just be consistent in what you do. And the last thing that I'll add here, while there may be some shortcuts these days to people buying likes or buying followers or paying for sponsored posts, there's still no shortcut to getting out there and creating amazing work. Oh, this is an easy one. Well, you have to be in an epic location with epic people, and I find myself around those two things a lot. Now, that's kind of a joke. But the way that I get these silhouettes, like right down there, the way I get those silhouettes is by first recognizing when there's an opportunity to get them. Technically speaking, I want myself to be on a lower perspective than my subject, and I also want a nice dramatic sky as well. And then as far as your camera goes, you need to squeeze the light out, or you also need to expose for the sky. So if there's a nice dramatic sky, you're exposing for the sky, and then you're underexposing by maybe a stop or two. I use Adobe Lightroom and Photoshop. 100% of my images go through Lightroom, and of those, maybe 30% go on into Photoshop. Thanks for the question. 3 things. Focus on your subject. Draw attention to your subject. And number 3, reduce distractions from your subject. And all 3 of those follow into editing as well. Yes, of course you can use your iPhone to submit images. Make sure they're sharp and follow the guidelines that I put out there. But the best camera you have is the one in your hand. There's a wide range of lights out there. Monolights, studio heads that are going to cost you $2,500 and ones that will cost you $225. I'm recommending ones that should fit into pretty much anybody's budget. Now, that being said, those strobes that are good, I would recommend the Palsy Buff Alien B 400s and 800s, and then also get a softbox for those. Those are great, and I've used them for 10 plus years. Now, for those that are better, I would recommend the Explorer 600s. Those are going to run you about $700 a head, though. They are wireless, and they're also high-speed sync. So take a look at those. Yes, absolutely. My 70 to 200 is my workhorse, and yes, I do handhold that 98% of the time. This question to me really has more to do with understanding the depth of field, and if you don't understand what that is and how people can be moving, or horses or objects can be moving in and out of your plane of focus, then you really need to focus on depth of field and understand what that is and how it works out in the field. I always keep that spot focus right on my subject, and I understand when they're moving in and out of my focal planes. Kind of a broad question, but generally speaking, out in the branding pen, no, you're not going to get that in mid-daylight. However, if you're seeking out light, like maybe somebody coming in and out of a trailer, loading or unloading their horses, you could achieve something similar to that by using that kind of light, because the horse trailers, really, they're just big reflectors and they're one big softbox. So pay attention to those next time you're out there.